No, it's more like a brain fart.
So proud of you. Wonderful. Welcome, everyone.
Speaking of brain farts, hey internets, it's Jake from Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise Academy. This is season 2 of our Kids on Bikes RPG. This is episode 12, Extracurricular Activities. And in just a couple of minutes, we will have a little bit of a recap. We'll bring you up to speed, and we'll get rolling on this. A couple of quick announcements. I'm going to try to make them quick because we're getting a little bit of a late start. If you look up above M and Tamiko over there in that corner, you will see one lonely domain pop. But there's a plus 40 next to it, which means you guys have 41 domain pops. Domain pops are the domain dice for this particular game. They are a way that you, the viewer, can have an impact on our game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting a sub, cheering 500 bits, tipping $5. All of those things will earn domain pops for the players. They can use them as they can spend each pop as a +1 to a particular dice roll to try to better their odds, or they can spend 5 to make themselves or any other player roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table, which has by now I think we're down to about 94 or something like that things on there because I haven't filled in new stuff yet. But it's a D100 table where things from very bad to very good can happen to the players, and there's just a lot of weird stuff in there. As you can see, we've already had a little bit of activity on the domain pops, so keep those coming. I want to draw attention to and just welcome, if anybody new is here. In the last 2 weeks, we've gained 500 new followers to the channel in preparation for a very big event that is coming up in 9 days. In 9 days, you'll want to come right here because we are hosting Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora, Zephyr Against the Mist, a Dungeons & Dragons charity live stream event happening Saturday, April 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick will be running a game for players Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, Michelle Hurd, and Will Wheaton. We have already auctioned one seat. One lucky winner is going to be joining us for their bid of $8,500. And we have another seat that is up for auction. I'm going to put that in the chat. That is currently up to $3,500, and you have just under 4 days to get in on that and join the other player and these amazing celebrities. Jonathan Frakes. So I've been telling people, I've been telling you guys, this is Jonathan Frakes' first time playing D&D. He rolled up his character this week with Todd.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you what he's playing.
I was just going to say, could you?
No. Carrie, I'll say this, Carrie, you'll be happy with this choice.
I know what he's doing.
But Todd has said that Jonathan Frakes is super stoked. Having never played before, he is absolutely excited to be participating in this game. So you're going to see Jonathan Frakes playing for the first time, Will Wheaton playing for about the 10,000th time, I think, as well as Deborah Ann Wall. Michelle Hurd is still relatively new to it. And we're going to have a couple of lucky winners from our auction. We are going to be giving away some premium. I say giving away, that's not really true. We have donation incentives. They're going to be high dollar items, but we have things like signed dice vault with the Legend of Eleonora logos on it. I don't know if you can hear because I think my noise gates are cutting it out, but just over my shoulder, my 3D printer is running. I am printing another dice tower themed to this adventure that I will be hand painting, express delivering to Todd, who is going to use it in the game, and he's going to autograph it, and that will be available as a high dollar value item for incentive. There's going to be so many other cool items, Star Trek specific items, some D&D specific items, as well as some giveaways from Die Hard Dice and Pavlov. This is going to be awesome, y'all. It's going to be like 4 or 5 hours of a bunch of nerds and celebrity nerds just playing D&D and raising money to fight childhood cancers. We aim for a $50,000 goal, which is enough to fund a research grant with Pavlov Foundation. So please join us. We hope to see you there. We are so excited to have so many people that are already following the channel in preparation for that. Last couple super quick announcements. I'm going to go through these quickly, but that does not mean they are any less important. They are always important. One, your content warnings. We are playing as kids and teens and adults in a fictional 1980s school setting. There will be and have been some references to bullying, both psychological and physical bullying, divorce, strong emotional situations, graphic depictions of violence, body horror, hashtag hand stuff, lots of stuff like that. If that is not your cup of tea, you're gonna wanna head off somewhere else. And we won't think any less of you. That said, please know that we have had a more than one session zero. We all understand clearly what everybody's lines and veils are, and we have safety tools in place to ensure that all of us are safe at our table and having fun. We encourage you to do the same, whether you're running a one-shot or a campaign. Regardless, session zeros are extremely important, and safety tools are important. If you're unsure what that is, somebody remind me, and I will add a safety tools link into our chat commands. I don't know why I haven't done that before. But there's a lot of great resources out there. You can just search for TTRPG safety tools. And the final thing is, as we remind you before every game, is we just like to make sure that you know that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. There are any number of reasons why you may either be struggling, you might not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle. Maybe you're in a good place now, but you know that sometimes you want somebody to talk to. All you need to do is come here to our chat, type !help, as Jeremy has just done, and a couple of URLs will pop up. Find ahelpline.com, or you can check out takethis.org's growing list of resources. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise Academy. This went really well last week, so I think we're going to do it again. We're going to start with Jeremy. Tell us one thing that impacted your character in recent events.
Cleaning up goat piss. That was a first for my character. Believe it or not, it was the first for me as a player.
My God.
I know. I don't get out much, so there's that. So yeah, that and actually getting blamed for it, even though I didn't do it. I say that a lot.
Another
but
rarity.
It's not always true, but it is this time.
I love, given what happened in the last session, that you went back to the goat piss incident instead.
Listen.
Awesome.
It kind of stands out in your mind,
Yeah.
Jacob.
Yep. Ted.
I don't know. I think the other thing is probably a little bit bigger, more revealing. But you
I
know,
don't know. My character has been experiencing shit like that since he came to this place.
So that's become the norm.
It's somehow more normal.
Okay. All right. You looked through your hand. I think that is a far cooler thing to Laz
Have you ever smelled
than
goat piss?
cleaning up. I
Smells
actually
her
rented
visceral,
Ghost
Ted.
for a week, so I have fairly decent experience.
It's not working. All right. What do you got,
Yeah.
Ted? What's affected Billy?
So he asked Jessica, well, put Jessica in quotes, to the dance, and she said yes. So like that's
a
what's
big
got
deal.
him flying high.
That's a pretty big deal. We'll go to Rosie as we're getting the cameras rearranged as Chad
Oh
pops in.
my god.
We've got ourselves a Chad
So
here.
I guess Rosie is kind of progressively getting more and more suspicious about this place. She's I think last time I said something to the effect of like she's really trying to convince herself that this is just life now and it's fine and da da da. But it's getting harder and harder, and now she's kind of starting to be suspicious about more and more people around her, namely her mom, and now as of last session, specifically Jessica. Because she is starting to think that there's something off about Jessica after not remembering, ripping off one of our best friend's hand. So, yeah, it's getting harder and harder for Rosie to just go with the flow.
Speaking of Jessica Ann, what about you?
Well, I was gonna say Jessica got asked to the dance, well, Anne got asked to the dance. But in addition, also she got to see Victoria's face, and now she has a new arch nemesis.
Amazing. Coop.
Well, Coop didn't already have enough to worry about. I guess technically he had the least to worry about out of everybody in the friend group, but now he has to worry about having his emotions hijacked at any point by an unpredictable Persephone.
Okay.
And on top of that, he's wondering, what is it? He also is. There's now also this like mystery in the back of his head. What happened to Laz? Where did Laz go? So right now he's focused on all of that.
All right. Oak. Well, the question is, what is something that has deeply affected Oak in our recent sessions?
My best friend's a teenage robot. Yeah, that sounds like that's a good one. Yeah, let's start with that.
Sounds like a children's book.
Yeah, Goosebumps. It's a Goosebumps novel.
Disney film, like
Yep.
straight to
Yes.
VHS.
Like a
My
like
bad.
a Disney like the one of the movies you saw on Friday nights on Disney
One of the
Channel.
Disney originals. Yeah, it's
Yes,
the Disney
DComs.
originals. Yeah.
To be fair, with Oak really liking tech, it couldn't be more than a dream come true.
Yeah, right. My best
Right.
friend's a teenage robot. You can't make
Wow.
that up, man. Yeah, so I think that's definitely on his mind. Also, this concept of I think he's coming to terms with the idea that there's more than one him in any given like space and time, and so now he's like concerned on that level, and he's wanting to spend more time with Dr. K to kind of understand that, but also I think he's spending way more time with Laz because now it's like, I have to watch out for you. You're like, it's a science project. I have to make sure it doesn't fall apart. So
All right.
that's Oak's
Excellent.
first mindset. Yeah.
So, with everything that's happened recently, and in our 11th, or rather our 12th episode, we are reaching the end of day 2 of the school year, and your time in the second iteration. Couple things before we get going, because Carrie, you had no idea I was going to do this. I just told you to kind of figure out a narration for the basketball game.
Nah.
But I'm going to add a couple twists.
Oh, great.
So first off, this is a question for everybody else. And this is contextually with everything that's happened previously. This is like just a couple hours later. This is at like 5:30 that night or 6 o'clock is this basketball game. Oak, are you at the basketball game?
Yes.
Coop, are you at the basketball game?
Yes, he followed Jessica there.
Can I ask you why you're not there in your mascot uniform?
Because I've literally only been a mascot for one day.
Okay.
It is too early to release Bucky.
Not ready for prime time.
And it would be really weird for them to have the mascot out there for the first game of the year.
That's fair.
You
when
think
it's
that's
not even
weird?
a big deal game.
I almost said
No offense.
I almost said Rosie.
You're
are
so
you
right.
at the game?
I am.
Jessica, are you at the game?
Yeah, after they maybe found Laz and Oak, maybe not.
I feel like at least we know Oak is there. Laz, are you at the game?
That depends. Was I released?
Yes.
Okay. Then if I may, I don't know if it matters to her or not, but if it does, I think Rosie might be looking for Laz before the game starts and doesn't find him.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then
that's perfect, Jeremy.
Laz
So-
shows up late, having
Okay,
come basically straight from being
hold on to
During
that.
warm
Hold on to
ups,
that,
Rosie's
'cause-
looking.
Hold on to
Okay.
that, because there is actually part of what I'm doing is I will
Oh.
periodically be asking Rosie if she's scanning the crowd.
Very well. I got ahead of myself. Sorry. Yes.
No worries.
He's gonna be there.
None of you had any idea I was going to do this. Billy, are you at the game?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's there. I was going to message this to you secretly, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this, Carrie.
Yeah.
Rosie has a new strength. It is called Unbreakable.
How
And-
creative. What does that do?
You have a permanent +3 to all brawn checks.
Hello, red marker. That's going on there forever. All right.
Also, Rosie, I need to know,
Yeah.
what is your D20 stat?
Grit.
What is your D12 stat?
Brawn.
D10?
Light.
8?
Brains.
6?
Charm. Oh, sorry. Did I say flight with an L?
Yes.
Fight. I'm going blind. Fight is my D10, and then my flight is my D4. I apologize.
Okay. Rosie, why don't you go ahead and get us started with the we'll take this. I'm not going to go super in depth on this, and we're not going to take a long time with this,
No.
but I'm just enhancing whatever you planned. Let's take
Sure.
it quarter by quarter.
Yeah,
So
great.
let's lead us through the first quarter of the game.
So, I would say, like, if I may, during warm-ups, just very quickly, Rosie is really, really trying her best to kind of get in the zone and do her normal pregame stuff and stretches and layups and all of that stuff. And she's looking at the other team and looking for, like, if they have any lefties, if they have any good ball handlers, et cetera, and kind of doing her, like, pregame scouting report routine. And once in a while, she looks up into the stands for anybody she knows, and she sees a couple of her buddies, and that makes her happy. First quarter goes, I would say, pretty well. It's the first game of the year, so the kids are really excited. I would say, just a little creative license, it's maybe not the first game of the year for the other team, so, like, their, like, pep isn't quite there. and Paradise Academy very much is. So it's going very well, and I would say we're probably up 8 at the end of the first quarter.
So, we've established, at least in the first quarter, Laz is not there. For each person, once on any roll that I ask you to make, or series of rolls, you can draw one time in this scenario on one player to gain a +1 bonus. Also keep in mind in this sports ball game, if any of your ranks are relative. As well as it's still the same day, so you may have I think you have a mental
social
social's not going to come into play during the game, I don't think.
Probably not.
So you may draw on your companions as a source of inspiration. When you choose somebody, I will ask that person to tell us what you're doing to cheer Rosie on.
Oh my god. That's precious.
Rosie.
Yeah.
For this first quarter, choose any one of your stats. And you're going to roll that. Tell me what it is and roll that die.
I would say, I mean, honestly, it's probably like grit, like the pregame speech and like the whole like excitement of the first day and all the kids there, and it's like it's very exciting, and so like that's kind of like the hype is strong. So I think I would probably say grit. You just want me to roll grit?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 9.
Okay. That is a fail by 1. That means something goes wrong in the first quarter. That you're not quite on your game. Everything else you said is still true, but what is it that's throwing you off in this first quarter?
Well, again, stop me if I am not allowed to do any of this. I know we're just kind of vamping, but I imagine that about halfway through the quarter, like a little extra cheer goes up from Rosie's little fan section of the buddies, and she looks over and she doesn't see Laz. And then for the next like 3 minutes, she's just off. She misses a wide open like breakaway layup, like just off.
You do notice that around the stands, there's the usual smattering of away team supporters that have showed up. But the home team bleachers are full of a fair amount of teachers, some of whom look like they were obligated to be there. There's quite a few students that have come to genuinely watch the game, and some who are members of other sports teams that are also probably obligated, but also probably excited to be there as well. Principal Gunnarsson is there. And Vice Principal Dr. Devin Sharp is also there. And that's as well as the friends that you've seen. So that is our first quarter. Take us into the second quarter.
I imagine being up whatever I said, what did I say, 8?
Yep.
That, you know, the hype in the gym is very intoxicating. And Rosie is playing a lot. She's typically pretty good. She started, and she kind of manages, I hope, to kind of shake off the humdrum kind of like womp womp feeling, and comes out pretty hot in the second quarter. Finally makes a layup, and then once you make one, the seal is off. And continues to try to kind of get out of this funk. And I imagine kind of holds pattern. I think we're maybe up a little bit more at the half, but I'd say maybe only up like 10.
Choose another stat, and also if you want to, you can draw on the support of any one friend.
I would love to draw on the support of Coop, and I would like to use my brawn.
Okay, go ahead and roll your brawn. And while Rosie's rolling brawn, Coop, what are you doing in the stands that when you see Rosie kind of makes eye contact with you, how are you showing your support?
Coop doesn't understand what's going on because this is a sport. But I imagine that at this particular moment, Rosie, one of the guards is on Rosie, and Tamiko knows about basketball. Coop doesn't. One of the guards is on Rosie, really, really hot. And and Rosie like gets kind of a little bit of an elbow into the
Breaks her
side, and the ref goes, "Flip," and calls foul. And Coop's like, "Come on, punch her in the face!"
And in the midst of Rosie trying to be measured and keep it together, and she's already fucking probably embarrassed her mom once today, so she doesn't want to argue with the ref too much, but come on, punch her in the face, comes out of the stands, and she's like, and then just immediately walks away. My role was, I'm actually going to add a pop just in case. And
in addition to the +1 from Coop?
And the +3 for my brand new bonus Unbreakable.
Okay, so...
And that's going to be 12 total.
Okay. Something exceptional happens. You beat the DC by 6.
Ooh, can I say what I think I know what it is?
You know what is?
I know what exceptional happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have narrative control. You're going to tell us what exceptional thing happens.
They run the last little bit of clock. It's Buck's ball with 10 seconds left in the half, and they run the clock intentionally, and Rosie hits a buzzer beater at the half.
Nice. Halftime. I don't know how long halftime lasts in high school sports.
About 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, 10, 15-ish, yeah, depending.
So halftime hits, and a couple of things are happening. Rosie, you're pretty tied up in the sidelines. Coach, or if you guys go back to the locker room, whatever happens, coach giving a pep talk, either encouraging you or yelling at you, depending on how well you did. And before you disappear into the locker room, you've noticed, Rosie, that your mom, Principal Gunnarsson, is not... She's there, but she has not been paying attention to the game. Her and Dr. Sharp have been in conversation almost the entire time. Roll me a quick... roll me a grit check real quick.
Okay. That's just a 5.
Yeah. You notice that when you hit the buzzer beater, when there's a couple of significant moments where the crowd is cheering loudly, you see your mom and Dr. Sharp sort of kind of look around and but otherwise they very quickly go back to this conversation that they're having. Also, during halftime, question, it was asked in the side chat, and I did not see if it was answered. All of you that are together in the stand, or that are in the stands, are you sitting together?
Yes.
Well, what is it? So Laz isn't there yet, right?
Correct.
I would imagine
that's up
that
to you,
Oak isn't there
Laz.
either, right? Because they were
Nope.
together. So it's only us 3.
No, Oak would be there.
What?
Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
I didn't have to stay, but I imagine that I probably would for a little bit. So I might be running late, but I would have been there.
Yeah,
for-
I feel
still
like
for
Oak would have
sure.
been there before Laz, potentially.
Yeah.
Laz, feel free to alter that however you need to. My main concern is, are you courtside? Are you mid bleacher, top bleacher? I don't know what's popular for you kids.
mid bleacher,
or if that's even relevant,
near the
what's
back.
popular. But where do
Very
you all
relevant.
prefer to sit? And what's your seating arrangement? Who's sitting next to who?
Nobody sits in the front. What
Well,
is
the teachers do. Maybe that's why you don't.
Aha.
Sitting in towards the back, I would. Yeah.
Who's sitting next to whom? Let me rephrase that. Are Billy and Jessica sitting next to each other?
That's the real question.
That's
had
the
to-
only one that we care about. Let's be real. No offense.
I
I
had
believe
to
that's
take-
probably a thing.
I had to take
Yes,
some of my
absolutely.
own advice, which is ask the question you want the answer to, not the question that's going to
It's the
eventually
little-
lead you there.
Hey, who's sitting next to certain other people?
Yeah,
Yes.
because the littles would be
So,
together, and then
Is
yeah.
anybody holding hands? Anyone?
So-
Anyone at all?
When you say near the top, are you a couple rows down from the top, or are you like right up at the top, back against the wall?
I don't know. Sitting in bleachers with something to lean against, it's far more comfortable. But
Okay.
you know, that depends upon what the group is interested in doing.
Yeah, that way when you're at the top, you can rest your feet on the next bleacher below, and then like lean your back up
Obviously.
against the wall.
Ah.
That's the
Given
best.
that you
So
have
smart.
chosen the top, and there's reasons why I need to know all this, and this is that reason. Those reasons. One, there's no way for Victor and Victoria to make their approach without being noticed.
That's a smart thing too, as well.
So you absolutely see them making their way up the bleachers, and while they're not looking, at no point since they entered the gym have they made eye contact with you, but they walk directly to where you all are sitting, and Victor is going to sit next to Jessica, and Victoria is going to scooch past whoever and push herself in, and either one of them will push themselves if somebody's sitting next to you, kind of move or just stare at them until they move. And Victoria sits next to Billy.
Okay then.
And
Hey, buddy, what the hell?
Listen here, bub.
just as you say, "Hey, buddy, what the hell?" you hear from the other side of you, Coop. "Hey, Coop, what the hell?"
Is this on the other side of me?
It's crap, I don't remember if we had somebody that was established as your handler. Did we have a handler established?
Oh, the
Yeah.
one that, the one
Oh.
that Coop accidentally killed that one
That's
time.
right. That was Nathan, wasn't it? Nathan something.
Yeah, then the kid that fell down the stairs. Yeah.
Nathan.
I've met the guy once.
Technically, you met him twice.
And you tried to kill him the very first time you met him.
Well,
Nathan
you met
Floyd.
him once, and
Nathan
then
Floyd.
unmet him, and then...
So Nathan Floyd's like, "Hey, Coop, what the hell? What are you doing up there watching from the top of the bleachers?"
I'm sitting with my friends. I'm watching a game.
The basketball game.
Yeah.
A Paradise Academy sporting event.
I think you're supposed to go down there.
You're
Coop.
supposed to be in the Bucky costume.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Pretty sure you, like, he's saying you are, Coop. Are you sure you're not scheduled for that?
Yeah, because somebody would have told me when I went down for drills yesterday.
I'm telling you, right now, you're supposed to be in costume.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I really doubt Coop says that.
I don't know. Coop's establishing that he's got a Tamiko mouth.
And Coop kind of looks goes to look helplessly at like Jessica and Billy, but they're completely preoccupied. So so I don't know. I guess he just rolls his eyes and like walks down the bleachers and walks back into the locker room or whatever.
Got this, buddy. It's okay.
I just think it's really stupid, personally, but that's just me. But here we go. Coop's going.
Okay, so you go to the
Well,
locker room.
You're safer than where you were. Getting
So-
pushed out of the way by Vicky is not a good thing.
As you walk into the locker room, you follow Nathan. He's sort of urgently telling you, let's go, let's go, let's go. As soon as you walk into the locker room, Nathan grabs you and throws you up against the wall. He's pressing his forearm against your chest.
Ooh.
Where is it?
Where's what?
You were the last one to touch the Bucky. I brought you the head yesterday. What did you do with what was in the head?
There was nothing in the head except my head.
You're gonna make this a very difficult year for yourself, kid. All you had to do is wear the costume and put it back where it belongs and not mess around with it. Where is it?
Probably somewhere in Coach Chiquiti's office.
You see for a moment Nathan's eyes kind of flick side to side and he has a little bit of a worried look. And then he releases the pressure on your chest where he's pushing you against the wall. And he grabs you by the hair at the back of your head and sort of pushes you towards where the Bucky costume is.
Aw.
And as he brings you into this area, you see that the locker where the Bucky costume's kept is open. The Bucky costume is strewn all around this locker room. And the Bucky head is turned upside down. And you can see that inside the Bucky head is this this padded lining and like a thing that allows it to sit comfortably on your head. That's been ripped out. You're telling me you didn't touch the package that was inside the head?
Yeah, I don't even have a key to this locker. It's the second day of school.
And on the first day, I gave you the costume.
Yeah,
And you
which
wore the
got
head.
locked back up in the locker by Coach Chiquiti.
I want you to make a charm check. What are your strengths?
I'm sorry.
What are your strengths?
Quick healing, easygoing, treasure hunter.
What's the easygoing one again?
-1 to consequences.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So the charm check is 16.
Okay. This is going to be an opposed check, so I'm just finding my stat block. All right. Oh, I thought that exploded. That did not explode. You beat him. You beat him. He was trying to use his brawn, his intimidation to try to get you to break, to admit to taking something that you literally have no idea what he's talking about. He looks from you to the head, and then he looks over at Coach Shakiti's office. Oh, man. They're going to kill me. All right. You better hope that you had nothing to do with this. Take care of all of this. Lock it back in the locker. No mascot tonight.
I don't have a key.
You don't need a key to lock a padlock. And he points at the open padlock.
Oh, it's a padlock? Oh.
It is now. I mean,
Okay.
For a combination lock.
You kept saying key and not combination, so I'm like, oh, I guess it's a padlock. It's like a special
I kept picturing it as like a steamer trunk, dude. Like in my head, it was like a steamer trunk.
It's kind of like that, but
key.
But also, I have a steamer trunk right behind me, and it has a loop for a padlock to go on it. So that's also where I'm thinking. So, regardless of what kind of lock it is, you don't need a key to lock it.
Coop just goes, okay.
See, now I don't know if this is Coop arguing with Nathan or Tomiko arguing with Jake.
Yeah, no, Coop says to the guy, okay, I'll hope for that. No idea what you're talking about. And he starts scooping pieces of Bucky back up and putting it in the chest.
As you're doing that, you hear, or rather see, Nathan, as he starts to walk away, he does stop, and he's looking into Coach Shakiti's office, which is locked. He's got his face up against the glass, and he's looking around, and he just kind of pounds on the glass and then storms off. Billy and Jessica, how is your conversation during halftime going with Victor and Victoria?
So, oh, God.
I was going to say, can Jessica just ignore them? Like, she just wants to pretend like they are not even there.
You can certainly try. This ought to be interesting. Go ahead. I think this is going to be charm versus charm.
Oh, no.
Or...
Oh.
If you can make an argument for a different stat that could go well too.
So I would think grit would be good to just be like, look, I'm just gonna sit there and
yeah, I think it's just like force of confidence and will.
Yeah,
just
okay.
like
I'll buy that. They will be using charm. Okay, here we go. So you're gonna roll your grit versus Victor's charm.
ugh.
As a jack die.
I rolled a 7. Can I use some domain pops?
I rolled a 6.
We only
Okay.
have 41.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I rolled a 6, so
Okay.
you don't need to. You can increase the number with domain pops if you want to have a better outcome.
Is it only 10 over, or that it's better, or is there another?
So,
like how? Yeah, I'm not sure.
in this case, so basically with these versus rolls, I'm kind of using the sort of combat encounter rules, which in this case you would be considered the defender. So there is no real benefit to it being. It's just if your roll is equal to or greater, you win and have narrative control. So you have narrative control.
Okay. Yeah. So Billy, you see Jessica is just like making the most pointed eye contact at you, and then occasionally will look past Victoria at Oak, and talking to him as well. So, and has completely just turned her back to Victor, and she's like, so like Rosie's like doing like really well, don't you think? By the way, Oak, where were you?
Oh, like extracurriculars. I got a lot of extra credit that I'm working on, so there's like that and everything. I'm trying to get a club started, so that's a whole thing too. Yeah. You kind of see his eyes are a little shifty, but for the most part, he does seem uncomfortable in his seat, but outside of that, he is trying to like enjoy the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. She'd ask like about your club, and then like she's like keeping an eye on like how Rosie's doing as well. But if Victor or Victoria try and speak at all, she is just rudely interrupting with a high pitch like.
I love it. Yeah, he'll talk about the D&D club idea that he has. But other than that, I think he's just enjoying spending time with you guys. He's just enjoying spending time with you.
You know, this
and
is probably
also sees that the twins are kind of swarming and will kind of pick up on what you're wanting to do and then just continue conversation back and forth, trying to distract from that.
Oh,
honestly, this is
no, you go ahead.
This is probably, you remember when they had the conversation about the camera and then Jessica stole it? But I think this is probably like one of the few conversations that Jessica and Oak have had that have been like genuine and connecting. I mean, Victor and Victoria aside, and Jessica's like weird thing that she's doing, she does seem like genuinely happy that you seem to be excited about something about the club and about that kind of stuff.
So, for context, the conversation you're referencing was literally like 43 episodes ago.
That is remarkable. Yeah, of course. That one time.
It was literally the first session of our first season that you stole the camera from
That's
Oak.
incredible. And took the very first selfie of the 80s.
That was incredible. Okay.
So as you know, as Jessica is like looking into the group with, Vicky kind of implanted in the middle, I'm looking at Jessica and kind of relying on her to be watching my back with whatever Vicky is doing, because I am, making sure that Victor doesn't try and do something to her.
Interesting.
So like I'm concentrating on her, but there is definitely enough peripheral vision to making sure that he's not trying to mess with her purse or,
you
heck,
two.
oh, look, there's her neck right there. I'm going to just bite her in public.
You two are sitting next to each other, looking across it at the opposite sides to keep an eye on each other. I love it. So I need a contested charm versus grit from you, Billy, versus Victoria.
What are we in normal phase, or are we approaching the moon here?
We're still on day 2, so you're still in your normal state.
Okay, all right. I just didn't know if I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't affected.
Nope, you're just normal teenage Billy.
Oh yeah, that's an 11.
So this tactic the two of you have set up to basically watch each other's back, quite literally from vampires, is working. And I think both of you would independently see a little bit of frustration. Billy on Victor's face and Jessica on Victoria's face. Jessica, I am going to need a grit check from you versus Victoria.
If that's a 6, I'm gonna bump that up to a 10.
Yes.
Okay, with 4 pops.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how this works out for you. Let me make the adjustment. So 41 goes to 37. You fail by 4.
Oh.
Jessica, as you're keeping an eye on Victoria and you see this look of frustration, this is about the 3rd or 4th time you've cut her off. In between you, well, this happens while Oak is responding to you from one of your questions. Victoria barely moves her lips as she says, "Why don't you be a dear and go get us some concessions? I would love a popcorn and a tab." And you feel compelled suddenly to go get concessions for your little group of friends.
Ooh.
Specifically making sure that
Fucking
you get
dominate
popcorn
person, bro.
and a tab. For those that don't know, tab is a type of soda from the 80s. Specifically a popcorn and a tab for Victoria.
Oh no. Yeah, Jessica suddenly gets up
Oh,
and like probably right in the middle of Oak describing something and leaves.
Perfect.
brutal.
So
There's definitely
Which
there's definitely a little bit of worry as Jessica gets up. Like, I certainly can't leave the two of them here with Oak, but I'm also worried that like one of them is gonna like get up and follow her.
if you wait a
Divide and
moment,
conquer.
neither of them do get up and follow her.
Okay.
Victor definitely watches Jessica walk down the bleachers. That's as much as he follows her. Very much in that, I would describe it as in a subtle but still leering way. He's definitely checking Jessica out.
Okay.
Jessica, it's going to take you a few minutes because quite a few people have gone out to concessions to get candy and popcorn and stuff. While you're out there, the whistle blows and the third quarter is going to begin. Laz, you can decide at which of these quarters when it is that you show up.
So I kind of had a plan of
Okay.
something that I wanted to do, but I don't know if Rosie, you want to use me as a +1 bonus for this round.
I want you to do whatever you're going to do, and then I will play off of it.
Well, that's the thing, is what I want to do isn't actually present in the gym, but I think it will still help.
That's okay. Perfect.
Go for it,
Okay.
Laz, and we'll figure it out.
Okay, so I think the second half is like just getting underway, and the familiar squawk of the PA system comes on, and we see in the principal's office where the PA system is, we see the microphone get placed down with a finger on the open button and a tape recorder that is set down right next to it, and a voice comes out over the entire gymnasium, in fact the whole rest of the school. Attention folks, welcome to Paradise Academy. This next one goes out to Rosie Gunnarsson. You're a badass, Rosie. And then a version, another copy of the mixtape that Laz made for Rosie starts playing through the PA system.
Oh my
We cut out
God.
to see a figure slide out of the open window of the principal's office, something that we have seen already, and cut even wider to see a chair shoved up under the doorknob of the principal's office door.
Oh, very Shawshank of you. That's
This-
badass, dude.
So before you narrate this quarter, I think as the music starts playing, very 80s montage, we see Principal Gunnarsson and Vice Principal Sharp immediately looking around, and Sharp, kind of in a huff, he starts to run, and then he kind of looks around and he straightens his sports coat, and he does one of those like tight ass fast walk things, just sort of, and as soon as he's out in the hall, boom, he takes off running. And then we cut to shots of the third quarter happening as this music is still continuing to play. I think the crowd is getting riled up a bit. And intercut with shots of Vice Principal Sharp running. At some point, he's grabbing hold of the door, and we see from the other side as the knobs rattling and the chair's just stuck there, and the tape's still playing in front of the PA system. And Sharp is like looking around, and he sees one of the maintenance staff, and so he goes and runs and tries to get him. Just a whole sequence of classic 80s montage that will ultimately end with he doesn't get in until the song is over. I think that was amazing. I'm gonna bump the laspiration, if you will, to a +2 from a +1.
Amazing. That's great.
So Rosie, how does this affect your third period or third quarter? It's not hockey.
Yeah.
Third quarter, and what stat are you going to roll for this?
So, am I like checking stats off? Is that like so I can't use grit or brawn anymore?
Correct.
Is that the
I've been checking
game?
them off.
Okay. Okay. So I think Rosie probably comes out pretty hot after that display, and this is a great song. And so I think once the game actually starts again, because I imagine they come out of the locker room, this display happens, and while the song is on, they like don't start the quarter. Once it stops, Rosie is playing pretty well. And I guess I will probably use my fight, because I mean, Joan Jett makes you want to fight. I'm imagining bad reputation in my head.
All right.
Okay.
And you get a +2 from the laspiration.
Yes. And I guess, can I also use my rank in rank, which I excel in competitions?
Yeah, I mean, if ever there was a place where you should be using that, I'll be honest with you, you should be using your rank and rank on every one of these roles in the sporting event.
Yeah, I was just, I didn't think about it. Okay, I was like saving it. I don't know. I think it's like only once per day, isn't it, or no?
No.
Oh no.
I thought it was
Your
every
ranks
time.
are any time that a
Anytime.
rank would be applicable to a dice roll.
Perfect. Okay.
You're rolling fight, which is your D10.
Yes. Okay. +2 for the laspiration, and then +1. So I'm gonna do 1 pop and make that an even 10.
Okay. You beat the DC by 5.
Amazing.
Also,
Awesome.
side note, I think Laspiration just might be the name of Lazarus's next tour.
The new album.
The Laspiration tour.
Awesome. Is that a success?
Although that's really close to lactation, so maybe not.
Yeah. No. Agreed.
All right, so how does this quarter go?
I mean, I think it goes well. Like I said, Rosie comes out real strong, and I imagine by the end of this quarter, like I imagine they maybe like brought it back. We're playing Traverse City tonight, and I imagine they like brought it back maybe within 4. But then Paradise went on a little bit of a run right at the end of the quarter, and I would say we're probably up 10 still at the end of the quarter.
During this montage, we also cut 2 scenes of Coop finishing putting away the Bucky costume. Coop, as you're sort of tucking the liner back into the head, the Bucky head, the Bucky
I'd
head's
find a kilo of cocaine.
no. Clearly, none of you remember our session
Perhaps.
0 where we talked about this.
Or the homework issue.
The Bucky head is quite big and awkward for some reason. Even though I know Bucky is a buck, it's the school mascot, but I keep picturing a stupid beaver in my head, and that's not what it is. This Bucky the buck head is huge. It's awkward, so I imagine you're kind of sitting down on the floor, stuffing this liner in, and that's why you're able to see that just under the edge of some piece of equipment off on the side, you see a paper that looks like it looks like a mimeograph sheet of pages stapled together.
Oh.
But there's also a Scantron attached to it. Do you take a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
So grabbing this and looking closely at it, you realize, reading the class and the information on this is a copy of an upcoming test in one of the, we'll say it's in one of the history classes or something, but it's for a test that's coming up in a few weeks, and the name and date that is on the paper is from last year.
Oh.
You can choose to keep that if you will. If you do, add that to your inventory. You can call it bootleg test scores.
Amazing.
That's our 3rd album.
Incredible.
And then you're free to leave the gym at your leisure or the locker room and return in time for the 3rd quarter. Which also during this quarter, probably about halfway through, while the crowd's really riled up, the music is sort of just coming to an end. I imagine as the music is coming to an end, before the next song can start, you hear the sound of breaking glass. You hear the sound of somebody very obviously cursing. Something else gets shoved aside, and then you hear one final curse as there's this sort of squelch of static and feedback as the PA system is cut off. And
Amazing.
I think the crowd collectively groans when this happens. just that whole but that's also, Jessica, when you return to the stands with drinks and snacks, specifically a tab and a popcorn that you have for Victoria and for you, Billy, and Victor. I'll let
Question.
you. Okay.
Is there at any point, can she kind of shake this?
What ranks do you have?
My ranks are in tank, skank, and jank.
What the fuck is that? I forgot.
Your
At some
physical
point I looked at the
charms
whole
gives you what
list.
you want. You've got a reputation.
You are
as a-
fun at parties. Take a
Okay.
+1 to social.
Skank,
I mean, Jessica's the hot girl,
Jank,
so.
God.
you can be stylish. All right, Jinx, Skank, and what was the other one?
Tank.
Tank. You're big, either physically imposing or strong. Here's what I'll allow. We're gonna let you use your rank and skank. And the distraction is that somebody, probably an upperclassman, which is already pretty rare to have upperclassmen, which would be for you, somebody, you're in 11th grade, aren't you? So it would be a senior.
Yeah.
At a JV game, there's not a whole lot of seniors here. There's a few, but there's not a whole lot here. It's probably a senior that you at least find attractive or genuinely like or whatever. You suddenly realize you're standing next to him in line, and he is Alan Turner. So he just starts making small talk with you. Just kind of like, oh, hey, you Jessica Smith, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see Jessica, like, despite herself, she, like, smiles, like, starts playing with her hair.
And I think that, yeah, there's just there's small talk, but just it's enough that he's classic 80s senior jock. He's wearing his Letterman jacket. He's probably, we're gonna say he's a baseball player, so his season isn't until spring. But he's wearing his Letterman jacket. He's got the red and gold, and he's got the big P for Paradise sewn on, and he's got a few pins and stuff on there. And he's not doing like the hair flick thing, but he's constantly like running his hands through his hair as he's talking to you.
Oh my god.
I will let you roll charm with your bonus for rank and skank, and you're going to get a +1 bonus from the Laz interruption.
Oh, nice. The gift that keeps on giving.
And I'm not
oh my
re-rolling.
God.
You're actually rolling against the original influence of Victoria. She's not here. You're not directly interacting with her now, so I'm going to let the original roll stand. That's what you're going up against.
All right. Okay.
So
how? What's my plus in?
Your rank.
Oh, +1
gives you a +1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Another +1. So that put me at a 13, and if I use 2 domain pops,
They are there.
that will put me
At
there,
15.
I think.
It's gotta
Yeah.
be enough.
Okay. You had to beat a 14, so I wasn't gonna tell you what the roll was. I wanted to see if you would actually remember what it was and what you had to
That's
beat.
the gamble.
So you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. Let me square the math here. So that's gonna put us at 35. All right. So this flirtatious conversation is happening with Alan Turner. What does it look like when you realize the reason you're standing in line? You realize that Victoria did something. Vicky did something to manipulate you.
Yeah. So I think, Alan, he screams like very douchebag to me. So he's like kind of full of himself. He's
probably talking about his car or his latest
baseball.
family vacation and baseball, all that stuff.
Yeah, all of that. Anyway, Jessica, she has this like, she's like, oh yeah, oh wow, That's so cool. Like that kind of, interest. But then I think he kind of pauses and he's like, and he asks about the dance. And I think at that moment, Jessica kind of like,
Oh, snaps.
she kind of snaps out of it because she thinks about the dance, and then she thinks about Billy, which then makes her think about Victoria, and all of this kind of comes to a head.
It's very much one of those, as he says something about the dance, and we see the camera goes into your eye, and all of a sudden it's like you think about this thing and this thing and this thing, and then that last thing is Vicky barely audibly saying, "Why don't you go get us some concessions? I'll take a tab and a popcorn." And then you just sort of hear the sound of something breaking, like just breaking glass as the spell or whatever is broken.
The pond or the pool.
Yeah. And you see, like, I imagine she comes to, and Andy's like Smith, like, that kind of like.
You all right?
Yeah.
You kind of spaced out there for a minute.
She's
Does
like,
Vale
she
not
kind of
interest
like.
you?
Don't you want to hear about my batting average?
She's like, I gotta go. She like smiles again, but she disappears and back in there, and she is looking, and I imagine this like slow motion as she's looking at Victoria, as she comes in, and she kind of sees the talking and maybe like her teeth flashing. And I think it dawns on Jessica like how dangerous they are. And so she goes up, but she wants to like put on the same face that she had when Victoria first asked her. And she is going to walk up to Victoria, and she wants to give like here you go, as she is going to give her the drink, but she wants to do it in such a way where as Victoria goes to grab it, she's going to drop it on her lap.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that perfect. Okay. You right before she grabs it, you let go.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that, but I'm gonna make a roll.
Okay.
I am going to roll
because vampire.
Because she'll be like,
yes, because vampire.
Yeah, exactly. Whip crack sound.
I'm going to roll a flight check, which is a D12.
Okay.
And we're gonna put this at a 6. A DC 6.
Oh man, 50-50. It's a 2, I guarantee it.
What the F, Carrie? I rolled a 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did see
you.
In fact, I think the expectation of vampire fast reflexes, all of that maybe, if nobody else, the audience definitely had. It's because she thought you were completely under her control. So she doesn't make that sudden grab. And she does jump up with sort of a scream as the pop just goes all over her. Very nice, very stylish clothes.
Oh my god.
And
this outfit costs more than Jessica's whole wardrobe.
Definitely causes quite a commotion in this area.
In the commotion, Jessica wants to grab both Billy and Oak's arms and like just get them out of there.
Just out of that general area? Or...
Yeah, she doesn't want to leave Rosie, but like she needs to get everyone away from those two.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's the perfect commotion. And of course, as soon as something happens unexpected to his sister, Victor, all attention immediately goes to her. And so the two of them are completely distracted. You grab a confused and probably startled Billy and Oak and start heading down the
No,
bleachers. Billy, what? Yeah.
I don't think Billy is confused. I think he was like secretly hoping that Jessica would do this.
Okay. Change confused to
and
impress.
Trigger.
So he is certainly impressed and ready to move in case she did something that we needed to kind of spring into action. Because we've seen Jessica, react well under pressure before. So
Yeah.
And that is going to be right about the time that the whistle blows for the fourth quarter. I wanted to do this before the break, but I need to take a break right now. So we're going to take a break right now.
The suspense.
And then we will finish up with the fourth quarter, and then we will get on to other things. But yeah, this was definitely a lot more than what I originally was just going to go, hey, Carrie, just narrate a basketball game for us. That wasn't going to be fun for everybody. I wanted to have more stuff happen. So
this is perfect.
So
this
yeah,
is great.
We're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break. Please stick around. We will be back in just a few minutes. All right. The fourth quarter whistle has blown, and Coop, you are returning from the locker rooms into the main gym, if you wish to, unless there's somewhere else you would go.
Nope, that tracks.
It sounds
Is
like
everybody gone?
I was gonna say, it sounds like your friends are not where they were.
Could Jessica run in? Could be coming in? Well, Jessica is pulling out Billy and.
So it actually, I'm using my high school gym as the model for this, and that would absolutely work because as you come down the bleachers and start heading for the exit from the locker, one of the exits from the locker room is literally right there. So
right there.
Yeah. So Coop, you would immediately come out to find Jessica leading Billy and Oak out of the gym.
We're going to find Laz. We're finding Laz right now, and then we're getting Rosie, and then we're gonna go get pizza. And Jessica's racing past Coop.
Let's go.
She's like, "Come on."
Wow.
Coop, make a quick grit. Try that again. Make a quick grit check.
Quick grit check.
That's a 4.
All right.
Yes, I don't have any pluses.
I need to roll for this thing. Consider yourself lucky. You don't know the source of it, but as you are heading out of the gymnasium, you feel the hairs on the back of your neck raise. Something has given you that sort of just that eerie feeling. A quick glance around and you do not see the source of it.
Everything looks normal.
Um,
No vampires here.
Thank
Totally
God we're
fine.
leaving and they can't do anything
all right,
to us now.
so I will say, Rosie, as you head into the fourth quarter, you look up into the stands and none of your friends are there. They were there, but none of them are there. There's no sign of Lass, who you've not seen at all, though you're pretty sure you know that you know that's where the music came from. Additionally, the vice principal, Dr. Sharp, is not there, and your mother, Principal Gunnarsson, is currently not watching the game, but is staring at the door leading out of the gymnasium, where you just catch a glimpse of Coop heading out of the gym.
And Rosie kind of sees all that, and she's just kind of I imagine there's a shot, the coach is down and drawing something on the posy board, and then like Rosie just like looks up and sees like a gap where her friends were, and she just kind of, she's inwardly a little hurt by this. Like, she doesn't understand what happened, obviously, and so she's just like, okay.
So,
and yeah.
For this next roll, you have a choice of brains, charm, or flight. You can use your rank in whatever it was, the one that's competitive. I forget what it is. Rank and something.
Rank and rank.
Oh,
The rank is called rank.
Rank and rank.
Sorry. Yes.
So you get the bonus from that, but I think
Okay.
because of the impact of seeing all of your friends gone, you're going to take that mental consequence.
Cancels it out. I think that's probably fair. Okay. So Rosie really tries to, like, obviously, like, the heat of the moment is kind of gone from, like, the excitement of the being the first game, and and like we're coming down the stretch here, and she just kind of tries to really focus on the X's and O's, and like who is a lefty and who she needs to guard and who's still in the game and who's fouled out, and kind of just really focuses on the, for lack of a better term, like the math of it. And she gonna make a brains roll. So here I go. I exploded.
Yeah.
So that is gonna be a 12 total.
That is 8 over the DC.
Oh my god. That's
you
awesome.
have full narrative control over the final quarter and ultimate outcome of this game.
Terrific. So as we come out, I imagine that Rosie is still kind of like, looks one more time at the, she's kind of tried to shake this off, but looks one more time at the space where her friends were, and then looks at her mom not paying attention, and just kind of like, and has kind of a clinker of like 4 minutes. But then she settles in, and the chants of "Go Bucks, Trojans suck" start in the crowd as like the game is kind of like they're creeping back and they're getting close again. And then I imagine Rosie hits a 3-pointer and gets fouled, and then ultimately goes to the line for a 4-point play, which is pretty rare, and makes the free throw. And then that kind of ends up being the turning point, and the Bucks go on another little run and end up beating the Traverse City Trojans by 14.
Excellent. Yeah, the crowd that remains, minus your friends, is cheering excitedly. By this point, Principal Gunnarsson is has turned her attention back to the game and is cheering, and you have your moment with the team following the win, and the I assume doing the good game. By the time you're done with all of that, and before you even get a chance to go to the locker room, you notice that your mom has left, without coming to talk to you at all.
Wow.
And your friends
That
are still
sucks.
nowhere to be found.
Yeah, no, Rosie feels bad. Like she's
But-
trying to like act. Everybody around her is excited, and she's like trying to get on board but can't.
Remind me, did anybody tell you guys? You guys made the plan with Rosie, right? That
To
you were
go to
gonna- okay,
Maniacs, yeah, and
okay.
Rosie's
Yeah, after the
fucking
game.
thinking about whether
Alright.
or not she wants to. This is bullshit. She's gonna, don't worry. I know this is finally culminating in the plan. But she's pissed about it.
It would be funny though if it's another time that you're trying to all get together and now one of you just refuses to go.
Rosie rides by
And
on
it's
her
Rosie
bike.
again.
Rosie rides by on her bike, no hands on the handlebars, and just like, thanks for coming to the game, fuckers.
That would be a very Gary move. To not show up to dodge the plot hook.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary.
Yeah.
Much love.
No. Gary knows what he is.
So, as you sort of have that dejected look, trying to put on a brave face as you head to the locker rooms to hit the showers, we're going to cut to the rest of the gang, and I'm going to let them take the next scene, start setting it up, and Rosie, you determine when you enter.
Jessica's trying to find Laz with Billy, Oak, and Coop in tow. I imagine that Jessica is speed walking, her sneakers are squeaking as she is like
Let's go.
hoofing it down the halls trying to find Laz. She hasn't said a word also to anyone as she's trying to find Laz.
I think Laz is probably like right outside the doors that lead out of the gym to the exterior, if there is a set of, it's like a fire exit. And I think he's kind of like waiting for the game to be over with, just kind of sitting on his skateboard, just kind of like rolling back and forth, like hugging his knees.
Yeah, I think you see like Jessica maybe comes out with everyone. Okay, Laz, okay, Billy, Coop, Oak, you all wait here. I'm gonna go get Rosie and then we are leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
What's the panic? Why can't we just stay and watch? I don't understand.
This is scary like this.
You guys not get
Jessica's
the memo?
left.
So I'll look to the youngins. Did you not get the memo about the twins?
What about the twins?
I mean, I don't remember if you told us or whatever, but they're very clingy to you, dude. Like
They're very clingy to each other.
Oh. Vicky wants to collect me.
First of all, let's not use that word because that's just. I feel like that's inappropriate.
That's
even
icky.
Yes.
I feel grossed out with that.
Yes. And so as I'm saying this, I'm looking past everybody and looking at the door that Jessica just walked in. So I'm talking more to the door than I am to you guys, but I kind of, without looking, like take off my backpack and like I reach in and again blindly, and I pull out one of the wooden stakes. They're frickin' vampires.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
You
no.
see that Oak should be horrified by this, but like Oak is like actually beginning to smile. He's like, vampires and werewolves, dude. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. And
We've
then he like
almost
looks
got
over
the
to
whole
Laz.
monster squad.
That's awesome. Who are we missing? We got. Oh, fuck.
Frankenstein.
So
But
Frankenstein.
Billy,
in
are you going to
case,
kill them?
well,
And Coop's just looking from you to the stake.
And Coop's
I-
eyes get really big and adorable.
in case somebody walks out, I put the stake back in my bag and throw it back over my shoulder. If I have to, I think it's kind of more for. I start to say my, and then correct it to our defense. God, it feels like forever ago, but we only met them yesterday, and my family is familiar with their family, and all of them are like that. So it's not like, unless we're planning to go wipe out an entirely, ingrained family within, whatever. It's probably not possible, but We
I'm really
have to at least
confused.
have.
Look, we're all talking about meeting up at Maniacs, right?
Yes.
If you want, he kind of looks to Jessica. I was kind
Jessica went
She's
inside the
gone.
building.
Oh, she's left. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I was kind of thinking about maybe hanging back and kind of talking to Rosie anyways. So I don't know. He kind of looks to Billy. Would you be all right with taking Coop and Oak, and like I can follow up in just a little bit?
Oh wow, just like yesterday.
I mean, I'll wait here till Jess comes back, and if the two of you need time to talk or whatever, I'm okay with it.
Well,
but I mean, if you don't need,
it's not like that or anything. It's just, you know. You know what? She's probably gonna be, you know, super like, you know, amped up and excited and stuff, and very, you know, into the game, the win that they just got and stuff. So I can talk to her later.
Oak puts a hand on your elbow. Hey, calm down, okay? It's okay.
Well, I'm calm.
No,
like
you just,
you know,
we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead. You just need to stay, okay?
You know, it's just gonna be like a minute. Like,
yeah, no, just be a minute.
well, I mean, if you just need a minute, then like we can walk around the building, and you know, we can all take the car rather than having to ride up.
all right, yeah, okay.
But I mean, you know, whatever it is you want or you need, man.
You said car ride. Is Carson waiting for you in the parking lot?
Of course he is.
I assume, unless there's
Crossword
something
puzzle.
else going on, Carson is at my beck and command. But also Jessica has a car, so
I love that you guys
I
keep
was
driving to places that are literally like blocks away. It's
Listen
such
here.
a teen
Listen
thing to
here.
do.
It's not about that. It's
You
about the
made-
status.
Yeah, I know.
You made the map of this place, Jake. Everything is a few blocks from each other.
This whole town, anywhere you are in town, you're never more than 1.5 miles away from anything else.
yeah. But do you really want to walk 1.5 miles at,
No,
you know, 9
I
o'clock
get
at
it.
night?
It's
You're
like
doing
this.
pizza.
It's like the Skyrim map. It feels massive, but it's like an equivalent of like 2 miles across. It's no, that's
All right, so while you guys are arguing about whether you're going to stay or wait or whoever is going to do what, we'll cut to Jessica going in to collect Rosie.
Yeah, Jessica is going in and she is like on guard, like eyes out for Victoria, but she's going to wait for Rosie outside of the locker.
and yeah, I imagine Rosie would. You see, you have a couple other girls come out first, and then you see Rosie, and she comes out, and she's wearing just her she's just wearing jeans and like the top of her jersey still, and she has like a jacket on because it's getting to be fall and it's a little cold, and you're like, oh, hey Jess, where did you guys go?
Hey, listen. And she's like, let's walk. Well, I'm sorry for like not staying for the whole game. You were great. I didn't know what was going on, but everyone was cheering.
Yeah, thanks.
Listen, there was a bit of an issue with those creepy ass twins.
Oh, Vic and Vic.
Yeah, they kind of mind controlled me into doing what they asked.
How,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Victoria just was like, hey, you want to go get me a pop or a drink or whatever? And my brain was like, oh, yeah, of course. And that was like really uncool and really creepy, and it freaked me out. And I just want to make sure that no one talks to either of them ever again.
Yeah, why didn't you just beat her ass?
Because I really wanted to get her a pop and a snack, apparently.
Oh, because of this. Okay. All right.
So we're just gonna make sure that like everyone stays together. So
Where is everybody else then?
they're just right outside, and then
Oh.
we're just gonna go.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
And Rosie just has her duffel bag and her backpack on too, and she's just like, as she's walking, she's like, so you said everybody's out there?
Yeah, everyone.
Was Laz there?
Oh yeah, he's like waiting for you.
Was he ever at the game?
You see Jessica kind of give you this look.
And when she does, Rosie kind of rolls her eyes and she's like, never mind.
Guys are stupid. That's like lesson number 1. You have to treat them like a dog or a pet or something. Like they're just kind of stupid, and so they try, Rosie.
Oh,
That's
I'll get yeah. I'll have
you'll
to get
get
him a
used
whistle.
to it. Yeah.
And
You'll get
that
used
seems
to it.
that seems to help a little bit. Rosie's still a little bummed, but she keeps walking with Jessica.
Yeah, and we'll walk outside.
Question. Oak, Laz, Billy, Coop, did you wait or did you go? Did you stay or did you go?
We waited.
Okay.
Did you stay or did you go now?
So you can walk and talk, or we can screen wipe to maniacs, and you guys are already there, and you can. You're already. Oh, jeez! Almost knocked my water bottle over. You're.
Woo!
It's full too, and would have
Scary.
spilled towards my computer. So very scary. We'll jump ahead. You're at the pizza place. You've ordered your pizza, and in fact, the screen transition will be that the pizza pie is being placed on the table in front of all of you, and we just see hands going in and grabbing at the slices of pizza, and you are now at Maniacs. There's a handful of other people here, but you have your corner round booth, and it's secluded enough that and everybody else seems to be into their own conversations. For the first time in 2 days or 12
We did it!
sessions, you are all together at Maniacs to start to talk about
I love
what
how
the heck
even
is
in the
going
game
on.
worlds, scheduling is the BBEG.
It really is.
Even in this world.
It really is.
This is real life.
Well, Tuesdays aren't good for me. Rosie puts an obscene amount of Parmesan cheese on her pizza.
I think Jessica opens up. She looks to Oak. She's like, Oak, you're a nerd. How do you get people out of your mind? Like vampires, you know? Like how do you get them from like mind controlling you?
Just like a hypothetical.
Okay. Well, let's see. Now, some people in certain circles think that it's like aliens. So if you put a tinfoil hat on, then clearly they can't hear or see what you're saying. And then some people, if you're talking about vampires, I'd say garlic is a deterrent specifically. Maybe churches, maybe some holy water. I think that's a possibility. I don't know where we're going to get access to holy water in the school though, but like
Isn't
that's
the
thing.
sun also supposed to be like for vampires? And
Oh yeah, the sun is a real big thing.
They,
So
like,
like if you could
Clearly,
walk around during
clearly
I live
that
right across
doesn't.
the street from the church.
Whoa. Well, that's a hell of a lead, Coop.
That's the Protestant church.
Clearly, the sun doesn't seem to bother them.
the
I mean,
rest of that stuff might not either.
And it's the 80s, so that means that churches are non-denominational, which means that this church probably has a thing of holy water in it, right?
Yeah, obviously.
What?
We all know
Sure.
that.
That I didn't even think
What is
about
that
but
logic?
Yeah.
That's the 80s.
It never seemed
And
to
Tamiko's
matter
right.
if they went into a Catholic church versus a Protestant one. There always seemed to be.
It's just a
They all
church.
had the thing
I
with
will-
the holy water in it.
We don't need the
Every
right
church
church
has one.
flavor here.
While that's
Come on.
true, I will tell you it is established that Peaceful Waters is the Protestant church that you are near, and there is
Okay.
a second church on the north side of town that is a Catholic church.
Okay.
I just don't remember the
So,
name
like-
of it at the moment.
But yeah, Oak will go through like what he knows in quote unquote vampire lore, and yeah, I mean all of those things. But to get them to stop reading, like trying to influence your mind, I guess it would be like, do you remember like Medusa, right? Like we studied Medusa before. Like the way they beat Medusa was through mirrors, right? So you like if you can't look at them directly, then you don't. If you don't look at them directly, then that's okay. So if you can like avert your eyes away from them, then that's perfect.
I don't think Jess wants to fuck around with mirrors too much, Oak.
He realizes as soon as as soon as it comes out of his mouth. Right. I'm sorry. Let's take away that suggestion. Let's just wipe that
Why
away.
don't I just okay? This is gonna blow your
So-
mind. I've got a real easy solution. How about I kick her ass and just say, "Don't do that again." I think that would send a very clear message, and I wouldn't get in trouble because my mom's the principal. 1 day detention
yeah.
tops.
You have to understand that they're not just some normal students that are going to accept, an ass beating.
Did you see her? She weighs like 110 pounds tops.
Do you really think that that's everything that she can do? Like,
I'll make sure she doesn't fucking bite me.
Or
Yeah,
like
but-
talk to you.
110
oh,
pounds.
there, as Rosie says that, like, Billy, like, all of a sudden, like, looks down and looks really bad.
And Rosie just kind of like Rosie noticed this and just kind of shuts up. I won't fight her, I guess.
I think we just like stay away from them and don't talk to them. And I think Jessica looks pointedly at Laz and is like,
I've never said a word to him.
listen.
Well, all right, so the twins came to the house last night. Their families are trying to mingle. Both of us have money and whatever. And Vicky asked me to go to the dance. Turned her down and whatnot. And when I said no, like, she had this look like she wanted to get revenge, and how dare I say no to her? And in just
Fuck her.
a day, she seemed to know, like, who is talking to who and what have you. So she immediately was like, "Oh well, is Laz going to the dance?"
Rosie
So I
spit
wouldn't-
takes. Rosie
I would
spits
not-
out her drink.
I would not be surprised if she tries something on you.
Me?
No.
With that with that stuck up snob? Are you fucking kidding?
But like, Laz, if she can do, whatever she says, you do.
She made you go get popcorn, Jess. It's not exactly the same thing. Laz
Yeah, but
wouldn't do
I
that.
was happy. I would not go to a concession stand. That's disgusting. I've never gone to a concession stand. You always get whoever else you're with to buy you food. I would not do that. Also, what was scarier was I wanted to do it. I saw her as my friend.
So I don't know what level of threat in comparison to everything else that's going on. Oak, I imagine you've already started to, expand all of the crap that you've seen.
Laz looks straight at Oak, like shrugs. We have to tell him.
So, all right. Point of note: is Laz's hand wrapped up?
No.
Does it look normal?
Yeah.
It got repaired with nanobots.
Ooh.
Okay. So
classic nanobots.
But who among you even knew about that or saw it?
Me.
I met with Billy before it happened.
Yeah.
That was a question from Ted, not from Bill.
So he gets the shifty, like, we've already been talking about vampires, so like I don't know what, if any, eyes have been looking at us and what have you, but I look to Laz to, like, have you figured out what is going on?
There's so many different things going on. I don't know where to start. What are you talking about? Which one?
I mean, with you.
With me? Oh.
And I just hold up my hand.
Yeah. Again, kind of meets eyes with Oak.
I mean, look, do I think it's smart? No, but I do think it's smart.
There's a secret lab under the school.
Okay, cool. We're just going to rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah, sure.
Running it. And there's copies of everybody. And I'm actually a copy of myself. I'm a robot.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot there we're not covering, but
I started with like the outline version.
Yeah, bullet points. There you go. That's great, buddy. Great.
Dude, Laz, is it like on purpose? Are you a prisoner? Do you want to be a robot?
Can I explain that? Look, I don't even know what happened, but yeah. First of all, not a prisoner. At least from what I can understand, not a prisoner. So apparently, and I don't know how much I can tell you, but to keep him being like, how do I put it? To keep him being the last one that isn't an anomaly.
An X-Men.
Right? Yeah. Then he has to be this so that, like, whatever
so
he
if
does
something
have,
bad happens, he's got like an extra life, like Mario.
Yeah, it's like getting an extra life, exactly. And somehow I created that for him, which, I mean, in a way, that's super awesome and really cool. And in a way, I am so confused. I have no idea what happened.
You were Dr. K.
Well, okay, so Dr. K created it, but like I am Dr. K, and like it's a big old layer of a yarn ball that I don't really know what to do and how to get out of it. It happened. So there's me and this, and apparently other versions of me, and I don't know how many versions of me there are anymore. I just know that, hey, I want to take care of you guys. Okay, I want to take care of you guys, and if my best friend is the linchpin to all of this, I'm going to take care of him and the bishop unit. that he is apparently. I think did I understand, Jake, what bishop means, or have we given that actual anagram terminology yet?
I think that both Laz and Oak contextually are nerdy enough to have immediately understood that reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine
Yeah.
O's had to like sneak watch that.
Yeah.
It was a pretty hard no for most kids his age.
Yeah.
So you're not talking about X-Men.
No. Well, I took it to mean Bishop from Alien.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's
The bishop
100%.
from- yeah.
100% what it was. And it was actually, if you go back and watch, you made the bishop reference first.
Right. Yeah, the milk blood.
Yeah.
Milk blood. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot to take in.
While we're ripping off band-aids, I think my mom has Coop's hand in her desk. Can I have another piece of pizza, please?
Yeah, sure.
Coop
Oh,
mentioned,
whoa! Hold up! Excuse me.
Why do you
What?
Why do you think your mom's got Coop's hand?
Oh, I saw it. I went in there for a piece of gum, and instead I found a hand.
You're just
not
gonna have me over
reacting.
there.
He's kind of like looking off into the distance, like distracted.
I gauge Jessica's reaction when I say Coop's hand. I look.
You see confusion from Jessica, but probably from the conversation that we had where you said that you didn't know whose hand it was.
Oh, he did say that. Yep. Okay.
So you see like a kind of a eyebrow raise from Jessica.
Okay.
Like,
I know
was
that
it-
you know that I know that you know that I know that you know.
There's a weird knowing.
Uh-huh.
Was it-
Uh-huh.
Was it preserved in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, it was in a box, like the kind of box that you see like when you get an antique baseball that's autographed, like a clear box. And then it was in another box that said something about it got sent from somebody to my mom. And then
My stepmom.
and
Teacher stepmom.
her stepmom sent it to my mom from California from the Nexus Project. And it was in a cardboard box with the addresses on it and everything. I didn't get the whole address. It was Palo Alto. And it got sent here.
Why the hell did Coop's hand end up in California?
I don't know, but there was
And
a
why
sticky...
did they mail it back?
It said
Wait.
that it was dangerous.
Where was my hand? What's
In my
going
mom's
on?
desk. In my mom's desk. I'm sorry, Coop. I know this is a lot to take in. Here, have another piece of pizza. Have a breadstick.
Oh yeah, breadsticks.
There's some garlic butter. Keep you safe from Vic and Vic. And Rosie's like, you don't know if it's like the adrenaline or like the runner's high kind of feeling, but like she's just like, oh, yeah, whatever. Vampires, robots, mind control.
So while we're talking about all of this, I've talked a little bit with Coop and Oak yesterday. God, it just seems like that was so long ago. So obviously the nonsense with my family is affected, well, my whole family. And since the incident on the beach, I want to first say that, number one, and I look straight to Rosie, I'm sorry. I didn't know what to expect, and I was told by these guys that I went after you. That wasn't anything that I made the choice to do. In whatever this is, in whatever downtime I have, my family is teaching me to control it. I never want to put any of you at any kind of risk. So I want that known.
Rosie, like she looks like she's just kind of taking this in, and then all of a sudden she like hugs Billy, and then you can hear her kind of muffled in his shoulder, and she just says, "And I'm sorry I hit you with my baseball bat." And that's you just kind of see her like,
You hit me with a baseball bat? When was that?
right in the chops.
Yeah.
When it happened, you tried to
Oh.
bite me, and I just bam. I'm surprised I didn't kill you.
Well, I have no recollection of it, and pretty much we went from the beach to the haunted house to this, all without a whole lot of chance to breathe or talk, and I don't think any of that is right. So if I was trying to hurt you and it took you killing me to stop it, that wouldn't have been wrong.
Rosie leans over and she goes, "Luigi, I think we need one more pizza, please." And then she would just kind of like lean in and shrug.
Hey, Mario, Luigi is in the back.
Sorry, Mario.
As he takes the empty pan from your table.
You guys should wear different colored hats or something.
Yes. With the first initial on them, possibly. That would help everybody.
And as he leans down to pick up the pie pan, he just laughs. He just laughs and he goes, "I'm just kidding with you. It's only me.
Ah! That's funny, man.
My name's
That's funny.
actually
That's why we
Luigi
come here.
Mario Lopez."
I love him so much. That's great. And Rosie would smile and be like, "Hey, Luigi, you still got the Bucks win and we get a free pie deal?"
I want you to roll a charm check real quick.
Yay! I will.
I want to see something. I have a snappy comeback, but I want to wait. I want to give you a gaming chance at this.
So my charm is my D6. I exploded, and I ultimately got a 7.
I rolled a 2 on a D8. You know, every time you come in here, you try to pull that. If the Bucks win, I give you a free pie. With the amount of times you win, I'm going to run out of free pies. But a deal is a deal. And he disappears in the back to bring you your free pie. I imagine
Amazing.
this is probably the same exchange you guys have every time.
100%. 100%. And Rosie always promises to, like, tank a little bit, and she never fucking does.
Of course not. Laz actually kind of leans over towards Rosie and he says, "Actually, about that, I just wanted to say that I was watching, through the window of the door on the gym, and you had a really awesome long shot." And he kind of looks down at his hand. Three-pointer.
And Rosie would. I don't know if Rosie like believes him. Like there is a seed of doubt, and she kind of like she just sort of like smiles, like a small smile, and she said, "Thanks, Laz," and doesn't have a ton else to say.
Kind of nods. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
To kind of cover up this like slightly awkward moment between the two of them, I look to Oak. You were saying at the game about wanting to make a club and that you like your extracurriculars.
Yeah.
With all the nonsense that's going on, I don't know if any of you would be interested in whether this would be officially declared or whether this would be unofficial. But what if we made the search for the weird stuff, an actual club?
Kind of thought we were already a club.
Are we?
I
mean, we
don't even know what to say. Like, yes, 1,000. Yeah, man, I would have done that. Yes.
So, I don't know if the anagram is right or whatnot, but I was thinking about the Paradise Paranormal Society.
We need t-shirts.
Okay.
I feel like that was directed at me.
Feel free to check us out on teespring.com, where we do have t-shirts. They can get them on t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, coffee mugs, stickers, and so much more. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
I'm certain that there are some teachers and staff at the school that have a clue about what this nonsense is about. And I mean, there's kids that have gone missing. I mean, heck, realistically, 3 days ago, there weren't any kids in town besides us. And now all of a sudden, there's hundreds of them in a school and people are missing. Is the, Cherry Orchard kidnapping other kids to do whatever experiments that they were trying to do to us? Is it something else going on? I mean, our laundry list of WTF moments are through the roof. And that's just what I know about, and I am certain each and every one of you probably has seen, whether you noticed it or not, something that we haven't even thought about or acknowledged yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. So I'm good with that. Us starting a club.
A club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Persephone's singing in my head.
Oh God, Coop.
Coop, that's the kind of stuff we need to know, man. How long's that been going on?
It's getting louder, and she's singing the bad police song.
Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. That sucks.
Coop, I need you to make a grit check, please.
Err.
A bad.
Explode.
Yes.
11.
Yeah.
Let's see. 1 second.
Yes, Jeremy, you are right.
Ding, ding, ding.
I was like, it's not only one, so
There's several.
Sorry, you got an 11, you said?
Yes.
Okay. I will only tell you that you succeeded admirably. I rolled a 1.
Ooh. Nice.
I will tell you that you definitely felt like the voice of Persephone in your head singing the police's I'll be watching you, like she was trying to push through and force you to sing the song out loud.
Wow.
And you resisted.
Damn.
It's at this moment, Jessica, Luigi shows up and places a brand new hot pizza pie on the table in front of you. And as he does so, he bumps the napkin holder, which causes it to spin sideways.
Oh, shit.
The napkin holder has been
no.
facing you, the black plastic with the white napkins, but as he bumps it, it sort of spins around. It's like it's warped on the bottom, and it just sort of does that weird sort of wobbly spins, and it comes to a stop on the perfectly shiny, reflective chrome side, and you see your reflection in this napkin holder. And all of you see... So go ahead, I'll let you say what you were going to say before something happens.
Yeah, because I imagine Jessica looks at it and like tries to like look away, but I imagine it's too late. Like she already saw her reflection.
All of you
can
see...
I make this situation a little bit more complex?
Sure.
I would say at that moment, not realizing that the napkin holder is there, the conversation is kind of like chilled out for the moment, and Billy reaches out to try and hold your hand.
Oh, Ted,
So-
fucking Ted with the MVP move today.
Magical.
As Billy reaches out, do you just like place your hand on her, like try to just do the subtle take her hand kind of thing under the table, or
You just like, I'm assuming her, like we're sitting in the, in this booth, and if she wasn't reaching out to grab a slice of pizza, I imagine like her right hand is lying next to her. So I just kind of like, slide underneath or like over top, whatever, however it's facing, just trying to reach out and grab her hand.
And I think it's in that moment that Jessica reflexively squeezes your hand. And because this is really Anne, I'm gonna need a contested.
Oh,
You're gonna
no.
crush
I'm gonna
the
need
fuck
a
out of Billy's
contested
hand.
brawn versus brawn. I think.
This is gonna be another friggin'
Awesome.
Let me just double check here.
Another
broken
hospital
hand.
trip.
I think.
Yeah, right. Yep, Jeremy. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be contested brawn versus brawn.
Oh,
So I want to see how the brawn versus brawn resolves, and then I'll tell you what happens that everybody sees.
Oh no. Oh no. I got a
Hashtag hand smush.
23.
hashtag hand stop. Let's go.
I didn't initiate this. Let's just be clear about that.
It still counts.
Hashtag hand stuff
Alright,
is taking
so-
on a life of its own.
All right, so I've got a 4, but I'm also tank, so I assume that's another +1. But I don't know if M counted their tank.
Oh no, I didn't.
So all right,
So-
so
I think it's safe to say
24-5.
that in this moment, as you
Oh,
go
no.
for the tender, awkward teen hand grab under the table, your hand is suddenly grabbed so hard that it is broken.
Billy never holding
But
anybody's
nobody
hand again.
hears the sounds. Nobody hears the sounds of Billy's finger bones breaking, as Jessica is staring wide-eyed at this napkin holder. It suddenly, the whole thing sort of. It's sort of the reverse of, if you ever seen where people do these extreme temperature changes or pressure changes that cause like a 55-gallon barrel to suddenly go.
Yes.
It does the opposite. The napkin holder suddenly goes and like almost turns into a sphere, causing napkins to suddenly start going. And as napkins are flying all around all of you, you all hear Jessica's voice say, "There you are, you bitch." And you see Jessica's face, sort of distorted funhouse mirror side, looking out of this sort of spherical napkin holder. Yeah, just sort of looking,
Yeah.
and
like
not
a
just
fisheye.
looking at Jessica. She's looking, or at Anne. She's looking around the table, kind of at all of you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh,
So-
that's great.
Fun fact, there were at least 2 of you all during this last scene I was having side conversations with in the side chat, having you roll dice, and
Oh.
I had M roll a D100, and I said there's a 30% chance of blank. Because
Oh God.
as I was imagining the scene, I'm like, oh man, those napkin holders are in every pizza joint across the country.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to make it happen. I'll just give you a chance. I said, roll a D100.
Mhm.
I rolled
Wow.
mine. M rolled an 83. I had rolled a 99.
Oh my God.
So, and if you watch, There's a random point. I don't even know what exactly was happened, but there's a point where I go, you'll see my face go.
I saw you again go.
And then M has a direct reaction to that when I type the number in there, and M's like, yeah, there's definitely some.
Never take up poker, either of you.
Tamiko had a perfect poker face that whole time. I said, other than a couple of times, if you looked, you would have seen Tamiko tossing dice. Tamiko, you did not give away that we were having an entire karaoke session behind the scenes.
Very good.
I have the worst poker face. Never tell me anything.
I will tell you.
I was like, I don't want to interrupt them, man. Like,
if you
no, it was like, ooh, what's happening
if
next?
you watch pretty much any of these kids on bike sessions, I've learned this specifically more recently. But if you watch any of these sessions, anytime there's a big reveal, my eyes go immediately to M's screen when I'm rewatching, because M is usually the first, not the only, but usually the first and biggest reaction, followed very quickly by Ted and Carrie. The rest of you have varying degrees of expressions at different times, but for sudden reveals, M has the biggest, almost immediate reactions. No, that was great. That was great. And I think, yeah, next week we're going to have to see. We'll discuss in between, because the plan was that next week is going to be the time jump to about 3 weeks in the future. It's going to be day of the dance. So I do want you guys to start thinking about the dance. Part of it is going to be, at least a big part of the first session is the dance probably isn't going to happen in this next session. It's going to be day of, which means Laz is going to be working with Claire Spicer, serving out a sentence, doing decorations for homecoming. So all of you will be in your various states of whatever you're doing in preparation for going to homecoming. So keep that in mind. And those of you in the audience, if you want to see the next couple episodes, probably 2 to 3 episodes are going to be the big homecoming dance. So, and we will have an opportunity for, I think, through discussions, for everybody to talk about what happened at the end of your conversation. And because 3 weeks will have passed, be thinking about the kind of things your characters would have talked about in those 3 weeks, maybe plans you made, other things like that.
Our current record for the Paradise Bucks.
Yeah.
Can do it.
There was a point, Carrie, I almost went looking for old school sports schedules.
Well, you'll
and
be happy to
I realized
know.
I'm so far out of my depth with something like that.
I actually did do a good amount of research, because I was going to say it's east, but Paradise, or Traverse City East did not exist in the 80s. Traverse City did, and they were the Traverse City Trojans at the time.
Nice.
But they did not split into East-West until like 93 or something. So there's your Michigan history for the day.
Awesome.
Welcome to MTD.
All right. Well, thank you all. That was awesome. We turned the whole first half of the game into not only a basketball game, but what was going on in the stands, and established some more stuff. You guys got to finally have your meeting at the at the pizza place and talk about the Paradise Paranormal Society.
After like 3 actual real life months, we did it.
Yep. This is all very
12
Vampire
episodes
Diaries
to finally
too.
get the party together.
This is very Vampire Diaries too, where something very traumatic happens, and then next week, oh, it's the Founders Day dance. We got to get decorated and get ready for this, and vampires are probably going to attack.
Oh, God.
So yeah, this. Anyway,
Perfect.
before we go, one last plug of our big event coming up.
Oh yeah.
On Saturday, April 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in for Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora, Zephyr Against the Mist. A Dungeons & Dragons charity live stream event benefiting the Pavlov Foundation, featuring Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick. Excuse me. DMing for Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, Michelle Hurd, and Will Wheaton, along with 2 lucky auction winners. We have already auctioned off 1 seat, and there is currently, for the next 3 days, 15 hours and 53 minutes. That might be slightly off because I don't know if I refreshed. But there's the link in chat. Those of you watching the VOD, you might go to @MTD_Jake on Twitter and look in my bio. The information will be there because I will probably forget to put it in the chat. This is going until Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then the game is happening 1 week from Saturday, 9 days from now. We're very excited about this. It's going to be an incredible time. And some of the folks you see here now will also be moderating the chat during the game. A lot of great stuff. It's just, we're so excited about this. Dwight and I are over the moon to get to work with Todd Stashwick and the amazing folks at Pablo Foundation. We have a whole team of people that we are working with now. It's incredible. And this is the second event. We're planning on another one in the fall as well. So
awesome.
Very stoked about that. Side note, because I don't think we plugged it at any point during the game, if somebody wants to drop the ! Discord, we'd love to see you in the MTD Discord channel. It's as somebody who recently joined and is kind of a noob said, man, your Discord is popping off. You got an amazing community. We do. I think we have an incredible community of people. We have lots of different areas for lots of different interests. I just put up a Helldivers 2 lounge and looking for squads, and 3 live channels for getting together with people and playing Helldivers on the server. So there's a whole Baldur's Gate 3 section, video game chat, movies chat, book chat, all kinds of good stuff. We'd love to see you over there. Thank you to everybody who had supported with bits and subs and all that good stuff. Thank you to the more than 500 people that have followed the channel in the last couple weeks in preparation for this big event. Thank you to everybody hanging out in chat, whether you're actively participating in the chat or you are somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the background, or maybe you're watching the VOD on YouTube at a later time. Know that we appreciate you and hope you enjoy our presentations. But most importantly, I want to say a huge thank you, as always, to this absolutely incredible group of people. These amazing humans are all my friends. I'm honored to call them my friends, and I love each and every one of them, and the fact that we can just share in this incredible storytelling experience week to week together. Taking this story in very weird, bizarre, and cool places. So, thank you, as always, to Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
Well, the good Lord loves